Hello, my name is Valerie, and today I'm going to talk about a course that I've done online that I thought was really interesting. And so I've made some notes, and I thought it'd be really silly to actually not share it with other people because it's useful stuff and it's all about well-being. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so let's start. Right, so this is the PowerPoint that I've done. So the course, sorry, that has just gone a bit crazy. The course is done by a professor called Laurie Santos, and by all means, just do the course yourself. It's really, really good. It's brilliant, and I highly recommend it. It's called The Science of Wellbeing. It's free, so there's no money to pay, and she's really, really good. So this is my notes and the PowerPoint I've done to make sure that I can take on board everything that she says and remember it and put it into practice. So the course, that's the overview of the course. So the first session, we were going to talk about what do we think of what happiness is, okay? And then we'll look at the misconception about happiness and why we have those misconceptions, and how we can overcome those misconceptions and turn things around, and then focus on the right part of what we want, so we get the most out of life, and seek different and healthier wanting, so starting to look at different things that maybe doesn't come naturally to us but brings loads of happiness, and then finally put those changing into practice. Okay, so it's a very practical course, very interesting, and full of really good strategies. Okay, so this is lesson 1. Okay, what do we think happiness is? So we're first going to think about what is happiness and how we can increase our level of happiness, and look at the first conception, which is knowing it's not enough. Then I will touch on the complexity of happiness and the 3 dimensions of happiness, and then we'll finish off with giving you questionnaires that you can do so you can find out how happy you are. Okay, so the first thing I'd like you to do is, whoops, sorry about that, just went a bit too quick, is to think about if you had a magic wand, or if you could do, genie came up and said, what would you like to be happy? Take a post-it and just write down 3 or 4 or even 5 things that you think you would need to be happy, and pause the video while you do that. Okay, now you've done it. Second question, so maybe turn your post-it round. According to research, or what you've heard, or what you know from the media, from science, from reading the paper, whatever, what do they say increase our level of happiness, of well-being? Okay, and then write down what you know is good for you. Again, pause the video so you've got time to write a few things. So, okay, now you probably could look at both sides of your post-it, and most people don't write the same thing. Okay, there is usually a difference between what we want to be happy and what we actually know from science and research would make us happy. So the classic one is we want more money, and if you Google does money make you happy, everywhere it says no. Okay, we want I don't know, true love. Okay, find a partner of our dreams, and then again you've got a stack of evidence that being married doesn't really change things, and if it does, sometimes it can be terrible as well as good. So it's the stuff that we want. It's not necessarily what the science say we should aim for. And the science says we'll say things like exercise, eat healthily, sleep well, have a healthy relationship with others, those type of thing. Be grateful for what you have, those type of thing. And we don't really associate that. So the first misconception that we have about happiness is we think that knowing that we need to do those things like be healthy and all that type of thing is not enough, okay, for us to want to do it. Because we know that we should eat well, that we should exercise well, that we should sleep well, that we should work on our relationship with others, that we shouldn't spend so much time in front of a screen. We know that, yet we don't do it, or we don't do it enough. Okay, so the first misconception we have about happiness is knowing is not enough. And as Bruce Lee said, we must apply what we know. Okay, willing is not enough. Wanting stuff, wanting to change is not enough. We must do. Okay, so there's a difference between knowing and acting. And in this course, we're going to look at how we can trigger our willingness to act. Okay, so now to illustrate that we have misconception, okay, that we see and think in a way that is not in line with reality, I'd like you again to give a bit of paper and write either A or B from those slides I'm going to show you. So first slide, okay, you've got two red lines there. Can you write A or B? Which one is the longest line? Okay, that's for number one. For number two, which table is the longest? For number three, which orange circle is the biggest? And number four, which arrow or line type thing is the longest? Okay, right. Now, if we go back to the beginning, I'll give you the answer. This one, and feel free to go and take a tape measure. They're both the same. Okay, they're as long as each other. This one, sorry, I've gone the wrong way. This one, they're both the same as well. There's not one longer than the other. Okay, again, feel free to measure. And that, guess what, is the same. The orange circle are the same, and same goes for the last one. So what does that show? Okay, one of the reasons why we that knowing is not enough for us to act is because we view things in a way that is different to reality. Okay, so basically what that means is, for example, we know that money doesn't make us happy, and we know that, but we still chase it. Okay, because we can't help ourselves. Deep down we don't believe it, and we still aim to get more money. Okay, so now I just want a quick word about happiness and how we can actually define it and how we can measure it. So obviously happiness is quite a difficult thing to measure. So they usually do it with questionnaire or with finding out a bit more how the brain works and scans and research and different experiment. So all the course is based on proper science. Okay. Here they're explaining that there's three types of happiness. Okay, the first one, it says here, life evaluation. Okay, so basically you reflect, and you just think about how happy am I on a scale to 1 to 10 being great. Okay, and you just get an overview of your life in the past and until now and what it feels like. Okay, then the second aspect of happiness is affect. So a person feeling emotion state typically measured with reference to a particular point of time. So this one is more right now, how am I feeling? Okay, and this one obviously would change minute to minute, day to day, hour to hour, because we have moods and it goes up and down all the time. So that type of happiness is, because it's based on our emotion, it moves a lot. Okay, it doesn't stay the same, which the first one pretty much stable. Okay, it will change over time, maybe a bit, but it's pretty stable. And the last one is a sense of purpose. Okay, when we look long term in our future and we step back from our life and we go, what is my life purpose? And that gives us a sense of whether we're happy or not, comparing where we are to our sense of purpose. And when you put those three together, you get a sense of the overlapping. It's get a sense of what is happiness. So it's quite a complex concept. Okay, so now what you could do is do some questionnaires to find out about your level of happiness. Okay, so basically what I suggest, I will put a link below, but you can also just Google, okay, PERMA Profiler or Authentic Happiness Inventory or the Oxford Happiness Questionnaire, and any of those are very good, or do all three, so you can actually see how accurate and how good those questionnaires are and get a sense of how happy you are. Okay, so that gets a good idea of what is your starting point before you learn any more in any more detail what is happiness. Okay, so that is it for today. Thank you for listening. Bye.